So what moments or what intrigued you to have those pivotal changes to change your mindset from who you were then to what you've become now?
You know, I started working 5 o'clock at the age of 13, 14, you know, and it was like, it's not like a nice office like this. It's concrete floors, tin can, you know, roofs, freezing. 5 o'clock start. I used to ride my bike there.
You were very young then. So what was the first thing, if you recall, you did at that moment when you had that mindset shift?
Yeah. Money. I need money. Without money, you can't do nothing. So let me go and earn money. My dad would always say, what are you doing with your money?
Sean, thank you so much for joining me today here. Definitely, from watching your journey, you've come from very humble beginnings and you've definitely made yourself, you're very comfortable. You've made millions of pounds. So how humble were your beginnings when you started off first?
So yeah, just a normal boy from East London. So that's where, if you don't know which part of East London is, where the Westfields is, one of the largest shopping centres in Europe. And then you've got Stratford International, where I think trains go straight to France now, but it didn't always start like that. I remember the times when rats were running around, you know, and there was not much development. If you remember them, some of them old, like it was called Stratford Centre, but if you see them old shopping malls, we had them before you had that big, you know, Westfields open up, etc. So I went to a normal school, normal public school. It was one street away from my house. So it wasn't just about work. It was more, how shall I say this now? On my street, it was us living here, my dad's middle brother living here, my granddad living there, and my other uncle living here. And 2 streets away, there was the family shop. It was like a community hub. And then on that street was school. So it was basically like CCTV, you know, closed circuit television, like always watching you. So you couldn't do anything wrong. You know, so used to go to school, and then after I went to my secondary school, Rokeby School, which was a very, very rough and tough school, really. It was a new experience where I wasn't the favourite child anymore. I wasn't, you know, loved and liked by everybody in the family. It was more like, you're with some rough boys, you know. And knowing now, some of these boys were like some of the biggest gangsters in East London, or some of the biggest dealers, really. That's who you were going to school with. So they were like very violent, and every day was just about surviving, really. So that's where we came from. And in my head, I always said, I'm getting bullied, I'm getting pushed around. Just want to go for a wee and someone's spitting on the back of my head.
Wow.
You said something wrong on the wrong day, and about 4 or 5 boys are jumping you for saying something that you didn't even know what you said, really. Or so you were scared to talk or put your hand up, because if you did, the boys would be looking in the room, looking at you and going, if you hold us back, you're getting it. You know what I mean? And all you wanted to do was just try and learn. And just when that was survival, you know, it wasn't a nice position to be in. But then I had this other life where I was around 5 of my siblings. We used to eat together, have fun together. I used to go to my dad's shop, help him price up the, you know, shelves and help him rotate the stuff. And then his workers would be there who liked me. My dad loved me. So I got drawn, possibly just speaking about it now, that maybe that's why I liked working so much and impressing other people, because they showed me love in return. And maybe at school I wasn't getting that. All I was getting was, you're the same age as me, you're trying to get ahead of me, let's beat him up. So maybe that's why, you know, the direction that I went in was more successful, because work was like almost everything to me, you know. I really enjoyed it. I didn't have this barrier of 9 to 5. My dad needed me on a Saturday or a Sunday, I'd go there, I'd help him, we'd sit down, we'd have a little like soft drink after, or some chicken and chips or fish and chips on a Friday or something, you know. It was like a real community hub, and it could have been 8 o'clock in the evening we're doing that, you know. So that's where it all sort of begun for me.
I think the experience that you just mentioned at high school, I think you can only come out with 2 outcomes. Either it really toughens you up from what you experienced at school, or I think it gets one traumatized and impacts their personal life at home. Which one do you think it was for you?
Both. I think I had to find a way out, but it also very, like, you know, it also really hit my confidence. So off camera, we've said that, this month I'm going to be doing a public speaking event. My last 2 events have gone quite well. But before that, I used to have anxiety, like my heart's beating 100 miles per hour, because you're looking at the audience and you think, what do they think of me? But then you got to realize, hey, hang on, I'm the man. I've got a 10 mil property portfolio. I've done it. I've got proof of work. I do this on a daily. You want to find out how to do it. I'm here to help you. So you got to realize, even when you're on stage, that it's not about you, it's about them. What value are you providing other people? So you have to learn how to control your own anxiety, and you've got to face it head on. You can't run away from it. You can run for years and years and years, and then you'll have so many regrets in your life that why you didn't. And you've got to understand, like, you're only young once. Once you're over 50, 60, your legs start hurting, your knees start hurting, your back starts hurting, your motivation starts going. It's not about money anymore at that stage in your life. It's more about, am I healthy? Is my family healthy? Who's around me? Because you just want to, have a good life at that stage. So while you're young, you should work hard as possible, have belief in yourself, which is a really important thing to have, is belief. So many people, 99%, don't believe. They don't believe in themselves.
So you have the conviction, that belief, because you've made it. Been to speaking events, you've got a healthy property portfolio, you've got a good net worth, you're comfortable in life. For someone who has gone through a similar experience and may not have made it in life yet, and don't have that conviction of self-belief and confidence, what do you think they can do to overcome that anxiety you speak of?
Invest in yourself. When I come into this room, why have I been called on this podcast? I've got proof of work. I can show you my value. Yeah, you've seen a few of my social media. You've seen maybe my podcast. You see me on a different podcast as a guest as well. Yeah, so you want me because I have that value. If I didn't go on Sajid's podcast, you probably wouldn't have even found me. Yeah, so I need to have the confidence to get myself out there. And maybe I didn't even start on Sajid's. I went on a smaller podcast. And it's all about just building them bricks together. If you want to enter an industry and you want to do good, don't try guess it. If you're going to look at YouTube, then you're going to get YouTube results as well. Yeah? Oh, how to fix this tap. Oh, I can do that. When you actually come to put the nut on the thread and you're trying to do it, and then something goes wrong and it hasn't come on properly, you don't know where the PTF tape goes, and you've got this massive leak. All of a sudden, all your floor's messed up, all brand new laminating floor, all your cupboards, your chipboard's gone. Thank you, YouTube, for that. Nobody tells you that version of the story. But if you go and get educated and go, yeah, let me do a 3 months plumbing course. Let me see what I can learn hands-on. Yeah, I know how to do this now. Great, now I'm going to go and do it. That was an investment. Now you have a value. I can go and knock on your house or advertise and say, if you need me, £60 call out, I'll come out and fix it. If I got the part there and there, 20 quid extra, I've made 80 quid in less than an hour. Yeah, so people say, oh, I can't even get £100 a day. I showed you how to get 80 quid in 1 hour. Get 10 of them a day, that's £800. Yeah, that's how easy it is. Money is abundance. It's all there. Is how do you access that money? How do you cross that road to get to that? So you've got to look at yourself, look within first and say, what do I want? What do I like? What do I want to achieve in life? And if that's nothing, then that's okay as well. Yeah? You can stay on the dole. You can go out and drink with your mates. You're happy to coast throughout life. And that's a good life for you. But if you're somebody who says, that life's not for me and I want to make it out, then you've got to start looking outside the box. Wherever you are right now is in your comfort zone. So the house you live in right now, the car you drive, and the people around you are all in this box, in this comfort zone box. And everything that you want in life is out of the box. So the house that you want is out of your comfort zone. The people you need to be around is out of your comfort zone. You might not have the confidence to be around them millionaires or billionaires, yeah, or to go in them rooms, yeah. And the car that you want, that Lamborghini Urus or Ferrari, is out of your comfort zone. You don't know, can I afford their monthly payments? Have I got the money to do that? So what you got to do, you got to get out of your comfort zone. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be fun, but that's where growth is. And when you go out there and you do something you thought you couldn't do, and you fail, you get back up and you go and hit it again. You know, you have so many people, like even football players, totally different industry. How many goals do they miss? Every weekend they bloody miss goals. They miss open goals, they'll miss it. And how much slack do they get? But do they go, I'm retiring now? No. They get up and brush off and go. Look how much negativity they get. The whole stadium shouting at them, you've just cost us a game. How must they feel? But do they, nobody thinks about that. That's a human being that maybe, 20,000 people in a stadium is shouting at you this, you that, you've done this. Because they're just focused on the game. So think how strong that person is when he's hit failure. Nobody ever thinks about that. But when you push through failure and you believe in yourself, as what we were speaking about, great things will come and great things will happen. And I'm living proof of that.
The mindset you have now, that you have developed over time, is definitely a very different mindset to what I presume was a young boy bullied at school. So what moments or what intrigued you to have those pivotal changes to change your mindset from who you were then to what you've become now?
So as I said before that, I really like to impress people. I used to impress some teachers at school, and they used to say, yeah, you can take the register for me, Sean, and stuff like that. But then I'd be called teacher's pet. Oh, you better give me the register and let me mark myself in and stuff like that. And, you feel very vulnerable. But then I worked in my dad's shop. I knew the customers, and the customers really liked me that they would even buy me a little Kinder Egg, something that even my parents wouldn't give me because we couldn't afford it. I've had times, my dad will probably kill me for this, but I've had times when somebody's bought me a really expensive sweet, and I'm like, finally, I get this lovely sweet. And my dad, and they leave, and dad goes, put it back, get that one. What? This is £1, Dad. Like, she's got it for me. Put that back, have the 20p, one of them little Milky Way Rice Krispie ones. Like, have that one instead. I'm like, what? But that's how tight we were. I used to wear high-tech trainers. I used to share my dad's clothes when I used to go to school trips because it was a branded one and I couldn't get one my size, so I used to share one of mine and fold it up. That's how we started. And then at 13, I used to go cash and carry, which is whatever you see in an off-license in a shop. In a cash and carry is everything's in bulk. And my dad spoke to Sanjay Wadhwani and he said, my son needs a job. And he said, yeah, get him to start on Saturdays. It's a 5 o'clock start. So, I started working 5 o'clock at the age of 13, 14, and it was like, it's not like a nice office like this. It's concrete floors, tin can, roofs, freezing, 5 o'clock start. I used to ride my bike there. Only in winters, my dad would go and drop me in the van. Otherwise, in summer, because it was light enough, we'd ride up that big hill, So that's what I'd be doing as a youngster. And then 16, I was working in McDonald's. And at all of these workplaces, I always surrounded myself with the best people. So Paul was one of the top managers there. And I just used to stay next to him because I thought it was easy. Because I just copy what he does, impress him. And he's like, you're a really bright kid, you know that? Have you read this book? Come, me and you are going to go on a project today. We're going to do the pallets, with the forklift. Oh, we're going to work in that room today. And I felt that he gave me the easiest jobs, but I just listened to your elders. He was like 50-year-old. I was 13, 14.
But what made you think like that? Youngsters at that age do not think like that.
So my dad comes from my dad and my granddad. My granddad was always at the shop and my dad was always at the shop. And my dad said, always sit where elders are sitting. Don't speak, just listen. So sometimes I say, what am I going to do in the shop, Dad? Go sit down. Do you want a drink? I'll have a super malt. Cool. Just listen. So I used to sit and just listen, and he goes, and then he'll test me consistently. A customer will leave and goes, what did you learn? And I went, huh? What? So, half of the time, kids these days are just scrolling. And you try make eye contact, and they're like, yeah. Or they will send you a brilliant email, but they have no communication skills. When you see them, they're like very shy, timid. They can't even make eye contact because they've lost that interpersonal and social skills. But in the shop, we were taught you need to be on your guard all the time. Be vigilant. Be awake. There's things happening around you. Don't just walk through life like let it happen to you. Get up and what did you learn from that situation? I don't know. Well, she did this. She wanted that credit at the end of the day and we didn't give it to her, but you got to be mindful. So it's like playing chess when you're talking to people. But if you're asleep and you're going, is it my turn yet? And you're going to go on the chessboard now, you might have missed the move that they done and assessed, why did you make that move? That's life as well. People make moves on you all the time. How many times have you been billed for an invoice and you're like, what is this invoice for? And then you'll pay it because they say, we'll promise you this work. And then they let you down because maybe you weren't vigilant enough and say, who is this company? How long have they been around? Where's their proof of work? Where's their social media? Where's their Google reviews? You just went, that's the first company come up, get them to do it. It will get done. But people let you down. You need to always reflect it back to yourself. What have you done? You know, so I guess that's what it is. It's about accountability. If you want things to happen in your life, you've got to say to yourself, I'm accountable. You know, I had two sides of the family. My dad's side was business and my mum's side, they were like good working class people, very honest, full of love, you know, but sometimes they didn't have that drive to do certain things, you know. They'd like to go out on a Friday night and, you know, have a good weekend, which is totally fine. And it's a lovely thing to do. But at the same time, I could see the success wasn't there. So when we went for 6 weeks holidays, we saw a very different life to how my dad's side of the family was, which was business minded. And I wanted something in between where you can enjoy yourself along the way, but you still making sure that you're doing your business, earning money and creating legacy, but you also got that love and family around. But I saw too much love this side where it made you weak and you'd let everybody in your house and everybody eat your food and then you're working just paycheck to paycheck. And then I saw too business minded where your brother could be your business partner and then you've got 10-year court cases as well, you know? So you've got to get that right sort of balance. And I was just looking around and being more vigilant as possible. And I'd say to anybody out there who wants to do well in life, you've got to be accountable, reflect back to yourself and say, what do I want? How do I get it? Not, I'm just sitting in this networking event and life's going to happen for me now. I'm just here. No. Did you set yourself a goal? Did you say, I'm going to speak to 10 people in this networking event? There's 100 people here. I'm going to just speak to 10 and I'm going to follow up with 10 emails or calls. Did you say that to yourself? Probably not. So how do you know where you're going? Have you said to yourself, I'm going to go to 3 networking events and do that exact same thing? That means I'll speak to 30 people and got 30 new numbers in my phone. That's 1 for every single day of the month. Have you said that to yourself? Are you following out? Are you doing that? And then out of that, you know yourself, only 10% of that will actually surface into anything. But guess what? When you're buying a property, that's what you need. You just need a deal sourcer or an agent. You just need a mortgage advisor and you just need someone who speaks the legal language. You got your 3 people there. I just showed you. It's a numbers game. And imagine you're doing that relentlessly every single year. That's what, 360 people? Out of them, you think you can't get a deal? You know, people say, oh, property's hard, inflation's high, you know, interest rates are high, no deals are left, people got a special book. They're the same people who are scrolling on their phone at the same time and talking about other people and moaning about it. They're not getting up and going, I've looked on Rightmove today, I've looked on that McHugh's auction house, I've networked, I've taken 2 agents out to lunch this week. You know, so that's what you got to think about, you know, what are you doing?
So being in that kind of environment, I would presume that at a young age, you probably hated it at some point that made you want more, isn't it? So is that what made you want more? Is it that you despised the situation you found yourself in? And what age was that you had that pivotal change saying that this is not who I want to grow up being? I need more.
So I was sitting in the shop, yeah, and you had these big lever arch folders, yeah, and one of them fell on the floor and so my dad, you know, ticking off doing his accounts. He used to have this little red book and he used to do his VATs and stuff. So I was trying to learn what he's doing. And I just knew that the shop was very long hours. And I saw an account, he had about 4.5 grand in it or something like that. And I was like, that's a lot of money. And then another one opened and then about £70,000 in. And we're in 1995 now. That's a lot of money, yeah. Like when you're talking, you know, 20 plus years ago. I was like, what the hell is that number? And he goes, oh, that's the rent. I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, oh, every time we save some money from the shop and we pay our wages, the rest of the money we'll buy that commercial and then we've bought that commercial. And we rent the flat up on top and we rent that shop out. That's the phone shop. But it's not our shop. We've leased it to somebody. So they just pay us rent for it. And they give us a little premium as well. And then I saw them renovate this property as well. So I said, but I never see you there at the properties. And they were like, yeah, we just got to renovate it once and then the rent just starts coming in. So I was like, I want to do that business. That was the light bulb moment. And I was like, I'm not going to be like my dad in the shop 24/7. I know the business I want to get into. I've seen money in it and I see they're never there. So it's quite passive. At the age of 13, I had that thought. At the age of 26, just double my age, 13, 26, I was a millionaire in property already. Yeah. So that thought never left me, my side. Yeah. I'd go and work, but my purpose was gain skills, learn how to, diversification of, how to earn multiple streams of income. So I'd work in the cash and carry and I work in the, delivering, loading up cars at the same time. So I'm getting money there. Oh, I work in dad's shop. Oh yeah, here's 50 quid for your oyster for, your train travel and stuff like that. Everything, I just tried to keep my costs low, save up my bank balance and just lodge it straight into out of fear and straight into a commodity. And I just thought, just get your first house. And for people out there, that's the hardest thing. It's just the first house. After that, it's all doable. Once you have that discipline of budgeting or getting that money together and you collaterate it together and you've bought that first house, you've been through the process now. It's done. There's no illusion. Can I do this? Can I not do this? Is it possible? You've done it. Now, even if you don't do anything throughout time, the value of that property will go up and you refinance and take money out and you can do it again. But if you're smart, you'll allow that to happen, but you'll also go and work a full-time job and a part-time job and get 1, 2, 3 incomes and you'll do it faster. It depends how quickly you want to do it and how much you want to do it because it's all there. So yeah, that's what I'd say.
So age of 13, when you had this pivotal mindset shift, thinking that that's what I want to do. I want to be a landlord, refurbish a property once, have the rental income come right after. You were very young then. So what was the first thing, if you recall, you did at that moment when you had that mindset shift?
Money. I need money. Without money, you can't do nothing. So let me go and earn money. And my dad would always say, what are you doing with your money? Get my phone contract and pay. So first thing was just paying for my bills. There was nothing ever that I would ask my mum for money. After 15, I never asked my mum. I don't think I've asked my mum after the age of 15 for money or anything like that. And I'm very proud. I wouldn't say disrespectful. I'd feel really embarrassed to go and ask my mum for money. So if I say, Mum, can I have some money? It feels very uncomfortable. I feel like itchy, like, oh, what the hell? Like I should be paying, So it comes with a bit of pride. Where's your pride? That's what people got to ask themselves. If they go, Mom, I know you got money in that wallet. I know you're getting benefit. I know you're working. Or Dad's getting the money. Give me the money. I find that's really embarrassing. I'm sorry. You've got to hand yourself. That's their money. They're working hard, blood and sweat. That means you're not even compassionate. Just take their money and go and buy a new top or buy a new bag or go and buy yourself something from the shop and they've worked hard, blood and sweat for it. And you just abuse it that way. It means you don't know the value of money. So learning the value of money was one of the most important things for me. So when I earned it and I was earning £3 an hour and I'd done 10 hours and I got 30 quid, I knew what 30 quid was. So I wouldn't just go and blow it because I knew how much blood and sweat went into it. A lot of people don't know that.
Like we were speaking off camera, that perhaps you starting from nothing was a blessing in disguise because it made you a very responsible person just at the age of 13 to 15. Yes. You don't find that a lot very often.
It's true. Like when you start from nothing, you are very humble because you know what it feels like to have nothing. So when I'm speaking on a stage and I'm talking to all of these people and I look at their innocent faces like, I just want to learn, I just want to get ahead in my life. I look at them and thinking, I was you. Then the first thing I say, go on my website and download my free 7-step guide. Like start there and like yourself, you're doing a podcast, go and watch my podcast. Your network is your network. Sometimes you're on a council estate. You've got the wrong people around you. Well, when you're in your bedroom, switch on YouTube and go and listen to it because I'm asking these questions for you. Just like you're asking me questions, you're asking it for your audience. Because you're saying, well, if I'm a businessman, yeah, you're a businessman, you're qualified to talk. You know what I mean? You know the process. You know what you're going through. You know how hard it is. So you're trying to ask me the right questions. And you're going to ask better questions than your normal average Joe because he doesn't even, he'll probably go, how'd you buy a property? Oh, great. Let me walk out now. It isn't that easy. Real life is not like that. It's how did you put that property deal together? Where did you find that guy? Where did you get the money? How did you get that money? You know, how did you refurbish that? How do you refinance that? What bank are you with? Like, how much work did you have to do yourself? Did you just push people like social media shows you and go, your renovation's done? Nah, that shit takes you bloody 6 weeks to do or 8 weeks to do. It takes you with a shovel in your hand or taking wallpaper off the walls, or builders not turning up on your site or turning up late and you're like, bro, my project's running behind. I'm paying a mortgage right now. Listen, do you want your job done or not? Stop moaning. And you've got to put up with shit. And you think, if I lose it with this guy right now, am I going to get another builder in time? Is he going to pick up from where this guy left off? You know, you get confused. It's your first time doing this as well in terms of electrics or plumbing or the windows or skirting. You get things wrong. You do things the wrong way around. But that's part of the journey as well, you know? But that's the hardship of property. And people got to know that. People are going to know it's not just an easy ride. But if you're up for that, then there's something very beautiful on that journey too.
So that young boy, age 15, who's already taken accountability and responsibility for being a matured person, from there onward, how did you transition into you buying your first very buy-to-let property?
Sure. So, you know, at 16, I started in McDonald's. It was again, pride that got to me. My dad got me this job in cash and carry. So I went and worked in McDonald's, and I used to do 3-4 days in college and then 3-4 days in McDonald's. And I used to love working in McDonald's, earning my money. Bought my car at 17. I passed my test. I was like, what can I do? I need a car. I need to be mobile. Got it. I paid £2,000 for my insurance by myself. You know, I wanted fully comprehensive because I want my no claim bonus. I'm a big man. Worked all summer for that, you know. And then once I was driving, I could drive to Galleons Reach, to McDonald's. I could do later shifts. I could do this shift, that shift. And mom, I'll be safe because I don't need to take a bus. I got my own car. They were a little bit more calmer. Once I finished college, I went into university. University was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, I used to be in McDonald's, 4 days there. And I used to do every single hour that I could do. I wasn't that focused in uni, I'll be honest with you. The first year I just got through it without even studying because I did accounting and business studies in college, and it was pretty much the same in the first year. Second and third year was a little bit more heavy. Got through it. But 6 months before graduating, I applied to Barclays in West End. So I applied to Barclays and I got a job as a cashier, and they said, so February I had a competency test. You got £5, £10, £20 notes in your till. You need to give somebody change of this. What's this calculation? Wasn't too difficult. And then I had 2 more interviews, and the lady who I had an interview with, they said, if you pass the test with her, then she'll be your new branch manager. And it was in Soho Square. And we had that interview, and she goes, Sean, I'll let you know on Monday. But I got off the Central Line on Friday, that day when I got home. And she called me straight away. I had a missed call already. She goes, I can't wait till Monday. I just want you to start as soon as possible. So even before I graduated, I got the job, and I said, well, I'll do it on one condition right now, is if you let me have a day off for my graduation. She said, yeah, of course. So I worked Monday to Friday in Barclays, but I didn't want to leave my weekend job. Saturday, Sunday, I'd be in McDonald's. So I said, I can live off McDonald's wages, and be humble like that. And Monday to Friday, we'll go into the savings account as much as possible. So I saved £1,000 a month, 12 months, £12,000. So that was pretty much enough for my first deposit. I maxed out £5,000 on a credit card, so extra £5,000, and I needed £14,000 for my first deal. It was £140,000. Put 10% down as property because I thought I was a big man, so I was like, I'm gonna go and live in this property now. I'm gonna have my own house, but it's quite close. So I did that, and very quickly I found out that was a stupid idea. Like, hang on, I'm paying a mortgage now, £500 a month. I'm paying council tax. I'm paying £200-300 on bills. Nearly my G note that I was saving before is going on this house, and this house ain't getting me no money. I'm living in it. So after 2-3 months, I was like, Mum, Dad, I need to come back. And they were like, yeah, I think you do. Like, you know, why? Look, the house is big enough. What are you doing? And I was only 21. So I rang up the bank and I said, look, I had a dispute with the neighbour and I don't want to live here no more. They said, okay, so what do you want to do? Because you're in a 2-year fixed deal sort of thing. And I went, well, can I let it? And they go, yeah, send us a check for 350 quid and we'll give you a permission to let. And they go, at your renewal, you can change it to a buy to let. And I went, okay, I didn't know I could do that. So I got that. And so I put a sign in my dad's shop window saying 2-bed house to rent. And that's it. 5 people came in straight away. Where's this house? I said, it's just round the corner. So I went and showed them and they were like, yeah, how much? And I was like, £1,000, because I just looked on Rightmove and they were going for about 1,000. And it was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, all right. So now it's working again. I'm getting £500 from that house. I'm getting £800 a month just doing weekends in McDonald's. And now I'm getting £17,000 from Barclays. But at the same time, not only did I not let that go, I was saving all the money, but I also progressed up the ladder in Barclays. So it took me 8 months to get from a cashier. Then I went into a coordinator for 4 months, which was on a podium, so I didn't need to count or balance a till at the end of the day no more, which meant I could go home quicker rather than balancing. But it also meant that I had more opportunity because I wasn't just counting money. I was dealing with queries and finding opportunities on how to help my clients. And because I was so good at handing it to a personal banker who was sitting on the desk, and I went, I'm seeing somebody, yes, they have this issue, but they've also got 100,000 in the current account. Can we do some savings for them? Oh, Sean, bring them over. So we'd help them solve their query and go, oh, we can put this in an interest-bearing account. They go, I didn't know that. Oh, so now you're getting £1,000 a month in interest. So we were helping clients. But because I was so good at that, after 4 months, I was on a personal, they put me through the training, and I had my suit, tie, I had my computer, I had my phone, and now I was dealing with these clients. So the person on the podium was sending me people. And then I had to deal with change again, and I went to Oxford Circus because it said, because you're a personal banker, people still see you as a cashier in this branch. If you go as a personal banker to another branch, then they'll see you just as a personal banker. And it took me 12 months to get to the top, number 1 in West End, in sales, in GI, general insurance, in savings, in investments, in referrals, mortgages. And I always wanted to be an FA, financial advisor, because I was like, yeah, I want to teach people how to invest their money. Like, that's the real money job. I heard we earn 60, 70 bags. And this other opportunity came to me, and it was a guy called Andy Green, who was my branch manager. But because we just went from the credit crunch, and Andy Green said to me, you know, he used to be the manager for premier managers. So he was like a regional manager, but he took a step down to come to branch manager just so he still had a job after he was made redundant. So I was sitting with a guy who earns 150, 180,000 a year, and I got to have my one-to-ones with him. And it wasn't like, how many sales have you done? Yeah, what do you think you can do better? How can you do this differently? No, it was more like, so, Mr. Sean, how was your week? Like, yeah, good. What's on your mind? It was a very different conversation of abundance. And there was this one time where I got put on a PIP, which is called a performance improvement plan. And it's purely because I didn't do any of these GIs. But I didn't believe in this GI, this general insurance, because it said you needed this big fat chub block to qualify, to be eligible to claim. And I know nobody has this. Everyone has one of them other little key locks. So I said, I'm not selling it. So they put me on a PIP, even though I did the whole branch target for savings. I did the lending targets. And I'm like, you're going to put me on a PIP? Like, maybe I got a little bit ahead of myself. So I stopped performing. So instead of... our targets was like 250,000 savings a week. I normally did 1 million, which was nearly the branch target. So I was like, I'm going to just do the bare minimum. But minimum in the maximum's total. So 250 is a top flying. Yeah, I'll just do 250. I'll save my savings for the following week. Oh, you need to do at least 1 or 2 loan applications. I used to do 4 or 5. I used to smash up, which made my manager's job easy. So Andy's like, what's going on with your performance? You've just dipped. And I went, nah, they're going to take the piss out of me. I'm just going to do my minimum as well. And there's certain people who teach you different things in life. And he goes, do you know what, Sean? Remember your brand. And I'm like, what? He goes, what do you stand for? I know you're part of Barclays and they've pissed you off, but what do you stand for? A lot of people are watching you. You're number 1 on that leaderboard. Yes, you've gone on a PIP. Why are you taking that personally? Let them do what they got to do, but you do what you got to do. When you walk down the street, you want to say, that's Sean Land. That guy is amazing at that. When you have this attitude, people will just say, he's good, but got a bit of an attitude on him and he can take things, but how are other people perceiving you? And within 2 months of that, I just got scouted for a premier manager myself. So I just had a portfolio of 200 clients. And they were all millionaires, all qualifying, and I knew what to do with every single one of them. It wasn't like you don't see everybody in the bank who has nothing or just opening a brand new account, which is going to give you £8 or something. It was a good place to start, but not when you're like 23, 24. I started seeing, oh, hi, Mr. Jones, would you like a cup of tea or perhaps, a glass of water? Okay, right, today I'm going to be looking over your accounts and like to find out more about yourself. What's your partner's name? Oh, that's Jane. Do you have any kids? Oh, great. Already you're thinking protection. Has he protected them kids? You learn, the training they gave you is like, hey, look, if I said, oh, you need life insurance, you'd be like, no, I don't. I'm all right, bro. I'm young, fit and healthy. If I go, boss, how much do you earn? And you say, bro, I earn £10,000 a month. And I went, can I ask you something? If you've got a machine in your house that prints £10,000 every single month, would you insure that machine? Of course I would. Like, I don't want this machine to break. Well, that machine is you. You earn 10,000. If you break, who look after your wife? Who look after your kids? Very good point. Get me an appointment booked with your man straight away. Yes, absolutely. I no. You learn, but you don't get them opportunities with a bad attitude or start getting emotional when the world gets heavy on you. You need to push through it. And that's what I learned through working. And as soon as I stepped out of my shirt and tie, I'll take that money and I make sure I'm saving it. And I just bought my second house at 23. 24, I bought my third house. By 26, I bought my fourth house. And I was a millionaire already because they were worth more than 250. And I was, and that was a pivotal moment for me. So I sort of, life throws you a curveball as well. And at that stage, my uncle passed away. It was my dad's business partner, and it was such a big shock for the family. And I stepped away, and my dad goes, look, I can't run the shop by myself. I need your help. And I was like, but I've got this high flying job. He goes, son, money's not everything. Your dad needs help. Money will come. I was like, yeah, how did I forget my values there? There's nothing more important than your parents. So I was like, okay. So I told work, and I said, look, can I have a career break? And they were like, what's going on? Like, you're doing well. You're B5. You're earning £70,000. Everything's. I'm like, I've got to help my family. They go, we understand. You can come back at any time. Boom. Left. Started helping my dad in the shop. He went gym in the mornings. I'd cover them shifts. My mum would do a little bit of an afternoon. I might do evening. We worked it around ourselves. But then I found pockets of time again. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do still McDonald's, a couple of shifts, because it got me out. I met different people, earning my own little bit of money. And then I realised I needed to do some building work. And I realised I just need to get a worker. And I'll manage the worker and help him. And I started doing some building work. And, then I started a different journey in my life in terms of being self-employed. You think being employed is the best thing in the world, that you're a superstar, you get a trophy, there's an awards night, amazing. I can make an award for 20 quid, bro, and engrave your name on it and say you're the #1 property investor like that. What does it actually mean? It means fuck all. I'm sorry, it means nothing. It doesn't. It's just an award. It's going to be on your mantelpiece, and one day somebody's going to be picking it up and throwing it in the bin when your house gets empty, when you're not there one day. It didn't mean anything. What it does mean is the effects you have on other people. And when you work for yourself, you're earning that money yourself. You're doing it for yourself. You're learning what hours you're working, what hours you're not working, what you're doing with your life, what you're not doing with your life. If your wife needs you, if your children need you, if you can go to them parents' evenings, if you can do an hour of homework, that's what your kids will remember. They won't remember you earning that money that is going to pay for their next holiday. They were going to say, well, you shouldn't have done that then. But they will definitely remember, Dad, do you remember when we used to do that homework together? I used to love that. That's real life. That's real value. That's more than money, You got to realize that on your journey as well. What's important to you? Because a lot of people think money's the most important thing. Everything, money, money, money. I've seen a lady on her deathbed at 80 go, oh, did you get the gold back? Us Asian people have gold and stuff, and they go, no, they didn't give it back. And she went, what a dirty way to die. What a dirty way to die. On your deathbed, you're thinking about money and who's got the last bit of your gold and has it been shared out, this, that, other. At that point, you should be like, what a beautiful life I've had. What beautiful children, grandchildren, uncles, aunties. What impact did I leave on this world? How did I help other people? What a beautiful thing. And I'm ready to go on my next journey. That's what real life is about. People kill themselves for money, bro. And that money never makes you happy. Yeah, because when you got money in your pocket, you're gonna buy a Ford, then you're gonna buy a BMW, and then you'll get to, you know, a Urus level, Lamborghini level. But it just keeps wanting more. I've just changed my car now from a Range Rover, insurance is very high, to another iX. One day it was really nice, this new iX, and now it's just a car again. And I'm like, yeah, when am I gonna get that Lotus, or when am I gonna get that Lambo? But these things I'm not too attached to. But that's all it is. It's like a woman; she'll buy a handbag. But then how many handbags will that woman have, or pairs of shoes? Yes, it makes you feel good and makes you, it makes you more confident. It's something that you like in your life, but it's not going to give you happiness. It makes you feel good for that party and you look good and you feel confident, amazing. But that doesn't define you. People are not going to say you're a great woman because you are wearing them shoes. People are going to say you're a great woman because I like the values that you have and the people who, you impact, the lives you impact around you, and the how you look after your husband or your boyfriend, or what you do with your parents and how well you conduct yourself. I've got big respect for you. They're not gonna say that if oh, I've got this on, I've got that. They think, what a show off. Who's she trying to impress? They'll probably call her all names under the sun. Do you know what I mean? So you got to get your values right, and once you get that right, then you won't be killing yourself just for money. You'll be leading a good life, and along that good life, you're creating positivity. And when you're creating positivity, you're bringing positive people in your life, because that's what you will attract. Negative people won't be able to stand you. You'll be around people and you think, why is he never nice to me? Or why is he never... He's like, all right. And then he's moved away because he can't stand how positive you are. But that's okay. Allowingness. Allow people to be who they want to be. If they're not on your path or not on your journey, let them go. It's okay. And I know some people can be attracted to people not being accepted, so they try and impress these people time and time again. You're doing nothing but wasting your time. Don't waste your time doing them things. Yeah? Go on that journey, and when you connect with good people, you might join venture with some people. You might do deals together. You might go a lunch together and go, how you doing? Yeah, bro, you're positive. I love your podcast. What's going on, bro? I'm doing this. Hey, I'm also looking for these new opportunities because I found that. Have you got anything? Bro, I might have a few things. Let me have a little look for you. That's what you want. Good conversation, positive conversations, and eating together along the way. And that's where you will find, greatness.
I can see you're a man of values, to which I'll come into later on, how that's impacted you. But I also found very powerful what you spoke about, the attitude when you were working at Barclays. That you took that personally, and then someone was there to guide you, and how you had that perspective change, because that happens a lot to everyone. Yes. Everyone's guilty of that, to take these things personally, and then not having the right attitude to perform to the best of their abilities, because how you do anything is how you do everything. Yeah. If you do something with your heart here, you're going to do something with your heart there as well. So I love that. But what I also noticed that, I guess, when your pivotal change came in your mindset, the first thing you got right was your finances, and you figured out how to minimize your expenses and increase your income. Alongside that, do you think there was anything else that you think was so crucial that's got to where you are now?
The bullying. When you get bullied and you called fat boy is your name, and you're not worth anything, and shut up and don't say anything. Within myself, I was like, I don't deserve that. I don't deserve to be called that, and I will show every single one of yous. And you should never do something for anybody else. But for me, it was like, you're going to see me one day, my face somewhere. And I get that all the time, like, bro, I just saw you on social media. Is that you, yeah? Bro, you smashed it. How did you do it? But I already knew in my head that was going to happen. They didn't believe, because they think with their own thoughts in their head. I knew exactly what I was thinking in my head. The only person stopping me is me. So don't stop yourself ever. See, that is real love. You gotta love yourself. And it took me a long time to love myself. I even, 4 years ago, I competed on stage. Yeah, and it was men's physique. I got my body fat very, very low, and I was done my poses, all these people watching me, and I felt that was a closed chapter for me to say, I did it. All my friends in their late 30s are bold and fat, and there's me. I'm not fat boy. I'm young boy, mate. You know what I mean? I've got the walk, talk, got the bank balance, got good family, got it. It was just like, I knew I could always do it, and don't ever let these thoughts leave you. And I didn't let these thoughts ever leave me. I just always wanted to improve myself and be a better version of myself. So look in the mirror and look back at that person and say, I love you. And people throw that lightly and go, yeah, I love myself. I really do love myself. That's easy. Do you really? Go back to your child self. Go back to your old house in your brain. Go and walk up to the stairs. Go back to your very first bedroom. Go and pick up the toys that you used to pick up. Look at that reflection of that boy playing, or that little girl playing with them toys, and look at them straight in the eyes and tell them, I love you. Look at that child and tell them, I'm sorry for all the pressures, all of the, the conditions I've put you under, the beatings I've given you. And hug that child and tell them you love them and that you'll never let that child down, because that's you. That child is you. Would you do that to your own daughter, your own son, what you do to yourself? You don't. That's your everything. That's you. And that's what real love is. You've got to love that child and say, I can do anything. I'll never let you down. Let's go. Because the only person you come in this world is yourself. Your parents will leave you. Your siblings will go their own way. Your friends will leave you along the journey. You will be with yourself. So be at one with yourself. That's what I say.
That is so deep.
That's deep, isn't it?
That's deep.
That was deep, man.
That's really deep. So you got your finances right.
Yes, bro.
And you also had the determination. Along with that was your success story. Do you think there was anyone that influenced you greatly to get you to where you are now? Did you have any mentors?
I had so many mentors, bro. So many. Number one was my dad. Let's not forget the women in the family as well. There's no greater person than my mum in this world. Because had she not instilled that my dad was the greatest man in the whole world, I might not have respected him. And women got to know how important, what part of the puzzle they are. Yeah. So my mama would say, here's your dad's sandals, go and walk it to the shop. He must be hot in the shop. Do I have to? That's your dad. He's working hard for us. She instilled the values. Go and help your dad. Or when I'm not helping dad, she's upset with me. Like, come on, who's help? She built the man. What do you want to eat? I'm going to feed you, clothe you. What do you want? Your gym bag ready? I'll get your gym bag ready. Now go out and go to the gym. Now go to uni. Go and do your study. Barclays uniform, let me help you iron that. There you go. Go like a king and go and smash it today. That woman is the most important thing in my life. You can't put money or value on that. And sometimes you don't realize it because she's always there. But imagine if that piece of the puzzle is not there. Your purpose can just leave you in a second. You can say, well, why am I doing this for? I've done another property deal. I'm going to go home and it's an empty home. There's no mum to say, Mum, look, Mum, we've got this now. We've done that. Oh, well done, son. She won't even understand what you've done. Oh, is that good? Oh, Mum, I've got £500,000 now. Is that a lot of money? Yeah, Mum. Oh, my son. Well done. She's just happy that you're happy. That's all she is. And what shall I feed you? Do you want something to eat? Don't forget these important people in your life. I have to bring it down to that, bro. So mentors will teach you structures. So my dad taught me a structure of how to work and how to save. My granddad would teach me discipline. And since when I was 17, my granddad had a book. And in this book, when he first came to this country in the 1960s, he used to go door to door selling. He used to spray cars in frauds. And then in the evening, he used to go Peckham Rye and Lewisham in London, and he used to knock on people's doors and say, I just want to feed my family. And they said, okay, can you please just take a look at these clothes? And within a certain amount of time, he built this client list. And by the time I was 17, he knew exactly the 20 customers he'll see. And so as soon as I had the car, he goes, Sean, you're going to come with me. Yeah, I'm going to put the clothes in the back seat and you're going to drive me here. And my dad let me do that job because my dad used to do that with him. But he goes, Sean, you're going to do that with your granddad. Because he knew I'd end up spending just an hour and a half drive there, hour and a half drive back, plus all the stops we had to do. And that mentorship from my granddad telling me how he dealt with a partition, how his dad left a big post office for us, and then the partition happened and we didn't even have no paperwork and we started from nothing again. how he had to go Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand before he got to the UK, and how he got to the UK, how he got his sponsorship, and then how him and grandma used to sleep on the floor, and then my dad and his two brothers would sleep on the bed in one room. That is reality. And I thought, how ungrateful person I am if I have a foundation that I'm living in a 3-bedroom house with my siblings. My dad was sleeping on the floor with my grandparents in one small room. What am I bringing to the table? I can't just go sideways and go, yeah, we've made it here. No, I've got to show them I'm worthy to be part of this family. So that was another mentor. My dad was a mentor. My uncle was a mentor. Sometimes he would do the building works next door. I was like, uncle, can I come with you? And I would stand there and watch builders. I didn't understand what they were doing, but it was a mentor. When I went to the cash and carry, I had Paul. He was a mentor. He told me some books to read at the time in English, and he taught me certain skills. I used to go to, I used to come here, Birmingham, because we used to work for an Afro-Caribbean store, and I used to get in the truck, and then I learned how to go and do deliveries and how to pump truck stuff off and stuff. That was a mentor. The whole life is an experience. Depends what you want to take away from it. McDonald's gave me experience. How to multitask, how to look at, if a consultant comes right now, what's the production bin timers? Are they on time? What's people in the car park doing? How many tills do I have? Are they only 16-year-olds? Is anyone on break? What's my drive-through times? How many cars are we doing per hour? Who's on grill side? Who's on chicken side? Where do I need to flex in? My mentors taught me there how to run 5 different areas in a store. And I was an 18-year-old manager. It depends what you want to take. There's mentors all around you, but so many people walk past these mentors and go and do their job and then go back home. I'll do my till and go back home. And then they're afraid because they just get trapped in this circle of, oh, I could get sacked at any time because I only have one skill. I'm replaceable at any point. But when you know chicken side, grill side, fry station, know how to run on drive-through, know how to do tills, know how to cash up tills, I'm irreplaceable. I'm not replaceable that easily because I'm a super sub. I can do anything. If you got one person calling sick in any one of these 4 places, I can cover it and still make sure the customers doesn't even know anything's broken. So who are you around? Who are you listening to? So that was another guy in McDonald's. In all of my Barclays, I learned from all of my managers. Some of them were from up north, some of them came from a sales background, some came from a marketing background, some came as a managerial background. And even when I started in the building trade, I got one top builder and I said, what do you need? And he said, well, I need a labourer and I need someone to get me materials. I said, all right, I got the van, I'll go and get the materials, just write them down for me and I'll labour for you. He was my mentor because he taught me how to do the jobs. So he goes, I need to plaster this. I said, so what do you need? And he goes, 4 buckets of sand, half a cement, and the liquidizer in there. So I'd make it, and I go, is that the right consistency? He goes, yeah, a little bit more, a little bit less. And once I knew it once, I just replicated. Now I knew how to mix plaster. And then I see him put it on the trowel and put it on the hook and put it on the wall. So I went, can I have a go? And I went like that, and I dropped it first time, just like that. But I soon learned how to put the first layer on, but I also learned how to leverage people. That was another mentor in my life. And we carry on learning. I've got more mentors where I've just told you that I'm opening a care home. I've got 2 mentors there. Some of them are MBEs. Some of them have appeared on ITV. These are the people in my circle where I'll go around and they go, I want to bring you into this circle. I want you to know all of these boroughs, how to talk to. I'm going to train you how to speak to Ofsted. I'm going to show you how much do you want in life? Mentors are always there. You can always improve yourself, make yourself better, have a new challenge. You can manage your diary. You can leverage other people and do multiple businesses at the same time. What do you want in life? That's the thing. Because your mentors can stop at any stage when you want to shut off. If you're not ready to listen, no one's got time to teach you. Why do they want to be there? And if you want more skills and you ain't got the right people, then you have to go and find the right mentors and say, how do I book an appointment with that guy? Because I like everything he said. I like everything he's been through. Can he give me a shortcut to what he's done? How do I get that guy on the phone? People don't want to make that investment. They want the easy route. But guess what? They will be in that hamster wheel and get the same results that 99% of people in that same rat race. Well, I've got 2 free properties now, but I can't scale now. They don't know how to put group structures. They don't know how to open SPVs. They don't know how to pay themselves dividends or open up other companies and reinvest without paying taxes. They don't have a clue, but they think, I'll find it on YouTube. I'll find it on the internet. I'll find it here. Or I'll ask him. Or my mate said, don't listen to that guy. But what's my mate doing? What's the guy on stage doing? And what's my mate doing? The guy on stage is doing his next business deal and doing it again and again and again. My mate's just still in the same position as I am, but I'll choose to listen to him instead. Be mindful. You got to be mindful and saying, if I want to get ahead in life, who's the people around me? Who are my mentors? And am I ready to listen to these mentors? If you don't respect a person, that person can never be your mentor because you don't respect what that guy is saying. So if you say, this guy is going to teach me this, but I don't really respect him, because then that person's not right for you either. Go and find somebody who does talk to you. Somebody you go, he's every four corners of what this guy has said. It just resonates with me. I've got so much respect. That's the guy who's going to teach you, because that guy is the one who you've got some sort of synergy with,
So from listening to your story, it's quite clear that you've not had anything easy. And I'm sure you've had to be quite persistent to achieve what you have achieved. So could you share maybe an example or a story where something that you wanted to achieve might have been too difficult, and an example of how your persistence helped you achieve it?
I've been wanting to get into care home for years and years and years, because I like working in the community. It's within a sector that I really wanted. And I had a property empty, and I had to leave this property empty for 3 months because I was trying to get a deal done with a care home. So I Googled semi-independent homes, and I found a few companies that said, no, we got enough houses. We don't want it. We don't want it. And this one guy said, yes, I will take your property on. I'll get the agreement drawn up. And as a landlord, you want to get your place rented as soon as possible. This guy took a month and a half to even send a contract over, but I had to be like, I either get $2,500 right now where I'm at, or this guy's going to give me $4,000. So it's a little bit of delayed gratification there. If I wait for this guy, I'm going to get £1,500 more. £1,500 more is like, £18,000 a year extra, right? And I had to just hold out for this deal as long as possible. And then he's like, you didn't renovate that tap, you didn't do that wall, and started being really picky. And I was like, all right, I'll send my builder, give me the list. And I started doing it, and then we eventually signed the contract 3 months on. I've lost $7,500 I've lost now, but I got the deal done now. I'm 4 years in to that deal, and from that deal I found other care homes to take a few of my other properties, and now I'm learning the inside of this business to open my own business into this. So this was from 2016 to 2017, but look, that's 5-6 years on now, and only now I'm penetrating in and getting into them doors. But these businesses are £500,000 businesses or 700,000 business per home sort of thing, if you know how to do it correctly and doing it properly and doing it for the right reasons, and I'm really passionate about helping people. So even from there, we thought of other ideas like virtual reality on how to help these kids, because normal therapists can't help these kids because they're like, I'm from a council estate, bruv. You're going to come and talk to me about how I should be running my life and getting out of this gang. Move, bruv. You know what I mean? That's how they are. But I understand, that person's just not talking to him properly. So maybe if I was 50 Cent or Kanye West, you'd listen to me then. So how do I mimic that? Well, AI does that. So how do I get into a virtual reality with you and start, mentoring you that way? How can I show you, like Matterport? Matterport is like a 3D software. How do I send that to the kid before he even comes to the house to design his own room? So when he comes to the house, it's already designed because I've got the picture how he's designed it. Is he going to feel more comfortable in this house now? Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'll be able to talk to him now as well. I've got really creative ideas to say, how do you tap into that kid? Because that kid was me as well. Wasn't in care, but I was an angry child. I was an upset child, a bully child. People didn't understand me. So I know what it feels like not to be understood. So how do you mirror that person and go, I'm gonna get you back into society and get you to be a good human, rather than someone who's got a lot of anxiety, angry, gang affiliated, into knife crimes. I know you don't want to do that stuff, but that's the only thing you know. And only your brothers and sisters are doing that on the road, so you think it's right. Maybe you just need to look at it from a different way. You know, it's just like an aeroplane. If it goes to a destination and you turn it 2 degrees, instead of going to New York, it would be in Texas, right? But it was only a 2 degrees angle. Yeah, and look how far it went away. So maybe you just got to understand other people and realign it, and you can make it happen. So you've got to be passionate about it as well. So that's one sector I really want to get into, and I'm actually doing a build, you know, I'm doing the whole renovation and designing it exactly for that specific purpose, going through planning, going through recruiting management, going through Ofsted, which regulates schools and stuff. So look how long it doesn't happen overnight. People think on Instagram, it's happened. Yeah, I've done it. Yeah, I've got another keys. I've got more keys. It's not like that. You have to persist. You have to be with your thoughts. You still got to manage your business. You still got to look after your other properties. You still got to acquire new properties while juggling this new thing. So perseverance, you know, you've got to always keep that, you know, no matter where you're doing. And this ain't going to be the last project I'm doing. This is probably the start of something new. But I've also got to remember I'm 37 years old. Some people start working properly when they're 30. I've already had a lifetime of working, but now I'm sort of making chess moves, you know? I'm getting that coordinated. I'm not the builder anymore. I can get 4 builders in for me and going, I want you to start there, do that, do that. That's my job done. They do all the running around, but I've project managed it that within 2 weeks we're really fast ahead, which used to take me 3 months. I've saved a lot of time. Might pay these guys more, but when you save time and you get your home opened quicker, you make the money back quicker, you know? So, you know, there's differences. Mindset is a massive thing. Here's one for you. Like, there was a property that my dad wanted to get done. It took him nearly 2 weeks just to even get the right electrician. 2 weeks. And he goes, oh, she's going to give me a call, or he's going to give me a call, or he'd let me down. And I went, you want them to do your job? They're already letting you down before they've even started. They're not even hungry. And he goes, you do it then. And I went, let me do that property for you. Within 3 days it was done. Might be £300 more, but your property's done, ready to let out. What was you waiting for? Oh, you got the bars. But he has to save money somewhere. Old school mentality. I need to save that 300. Why should I pay 300 more? But he's missing the bigger picture that I've lost £1,000 in rent here. So wasn't it better just to pay somebody more and get your work out the way and just carry on moving? And then it stops stressing you out as well. You know, so it's all about your mentality. You need to be focused and always take a deep breath. Always take a step back. Sometimes even take 24 hours because things seem a lot more clearer after you go, yeah, I can do it that way. Rather than, you know, life's happening to me. I can't, I'm too pressured. Just calm down, take a step back. Think about it. Maybe talk to somebody about it. Then come back to the situation. It'll be a lot more clear.
These are all very powerful things you've mentioned. But I want to dig a bit deeper into delayed gratification you mentioned about.
Yeah.
Because that is everything to do with persistence. And a lot of people today cannot wait for that delayed gratification for later on. They want it now. And because they want it now, they don't want to push for it or wait for the actual success later on. So if someone has this habit of instant gratification, and if I want it now means I want it now, otherwise the world goes around, how can they change that mindset of persisting more, perseverance to get in that habit of delayed gratification for that real success?
Try it. They've got to start trying it, you know, without trying anything. That's their comfort zone right now. Get themselves into deep water because it will feel uncomfortable. It's like, I really want that, but I can't have it. Try it and see how good it feels and where it gets you when you don't do that instant thing straight away. You got to write yourself goals. You got to change your mindset. You got to start listening to different people. Because you're obviously listening to people who go, I can have that. You should have that. You only live once. Why are you sacrificing that? Maybe they're not the right people that you're listening to because tomorrow is coming. And if you're thinking that tomorrow's not coming, then you've got a very negative mindset already. Yeah. So you got to think more positive. Tomorrow's coming. Who am I going to influence? Are you going to be a role model? Because you're going to have little people around you. Do you want them to have the same habits as you? Probably not. Because when you definitely have children, you realize a lot of shit that you've done. You're like, When you look at their life doing the same thing, you're like, nah, they can't. Remember, children don't do what they listen to, they do what they see. If they see you doing something, you can never have an answer back for your children. If you say, I told you not to do that, you did it, no answer back. They slapped you in the face, shut your mouth, see you later. Yeah? But when they go, look, we shouldn't do it like this. Have you ever seen me do it like that? Yeah, that's a good point. I'm sorry. Like, I shouldn't have done it. I made a mistake. Let's carry on. Do you know why do people go through generation and generation of the same thing? Because they just listen to the same things that were passed on. You know, my dad was very different to his two brothers. My dad started working in a cash and carry with his clothes. It was leather coats. And the guy who owned the shop was a professor in a university. And I think that's what could have changed the legacy in our sort of side. Because I'm very different to my cousins as well. You know, and I'm very soft as well. A little bit more kinder sometimes. We all got our personality. I'm not bringing anyone else down. But he always taught my dad, because my dad was a little bit abrupt and a little bit angry sometimes about, he did this, I'm going to do it back. And this guy would always say, well, that's the easy way. Why can't you be different? Why do you have to react? Why don't you kill him with love? If someone swear at you, this, that, other, next time you see him, shake their hand, give him a kiss on the cheek. You all right, my bro? I love you, man. See that person melt and go, I said something really horrible to you. I thought you're going to punch me and we're going to have a 20-year feud and I'm going to avoid him, but you killed it. There's no more rucksack on your back. You've taken it off. You don't have to go, I'm going to have to avoid that person, or what a horrible life to live like that. Think differently. Think at the possibilities when you do think at a different angle, you know? And so when you want something different out of your life, it's like a calculation. 1 + 1 = 2. And it's always bloody going to be that unless you change one of these numbers, change that to a 2 + 1, then it's 3, isn't it? With that, life is an equation, you know? The world is an equation. The moon goes around, you know, the earth every single, you know, day. We can't explain it. It's all on energy. It's all on mathematics. The Egyptians done it with their pyramids and how they've done it the same, like the stars that you see. Like, these things can't be explained. So feel the balance. There's always has to be some sort of balance in life. When you push the universe, it will always push something else on the other side. If you're pushing that same button, you'll always get that same result. If you want that delayed gratification, you say, look, I'm gonna take something. Like, it's like going on a diet. Yeah, it's like going to the gym. When you go to the gym for a day or 3 days or 4 days, you don't see nothing. You know your body's hurting. You know, I really want them rice, them carbs, and I really want to carb up, and my body's breaking. But when people see you in the office, like, what are you whining about? And they're not getting any gratification. That, well done. It's only after 2-3 weeks somebody might go, you lose weight. Oh, have you noticed? You know, yeah, oh yeah. And then 2 months down, it's like, bro, you're looking quite good. And then 3-4 months down, it's like, whoa, that was delayed gratification. But it required you to be focused. It required you to look in the mirror. It required you to do 12 reps, 3 sets, and then do different exercise, and then do your cardio training, cardiovascular, and then for you to go home and be disciplined and said, well, abs are made in the kitchen, not even in the gym. How do I control my protein intake, my fat intake, my carbohydrate intake? How do I manage this? How do I make sure I'm not in a calorie deficit, then a surplus? And then when you do push past that barrier and you see the result, and then people go, you look so much better. Or you walk into the room because you're so much more confident and you fit into that dress that you really wanted. Or you got that nice shirt and you're feeling like, I'm ready for this boardroom. No one's judging me right now. I'm the best person in this room right now. Everything changes. Your level, your aura will change around you. So when you're thinking of delayed gratification, maybe think of that example. And imagine if you apply that to your business life or your work life or your self-employed life, you know, or a new venture you want to try. Imagine the endless, you know, opportunities. You see people like Elon Musk, and so here's something. I cut my son's hair. Yeah, and people, my sisters go, oh, you're cheap. And I'm like, no, I've done a blade 4. I've done a 0 at the bottom. I'll do a 3, 2, 1, get the line to disappear. I'll do it up nice. But what did I see on Facebook the other day? Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was cutting his hair, kid's hair at the age of 8, and now this kid's about 20 something, and Arnold's still cutting his hair. And I see that, and I went, look at that bond, that relationship they have. He allows his dad to cut his hair because he's always done that. And he's like, yeah, my dad can cut it. But look at that love, that closeness, that touch. Look at Elon Musk. He's the richest man in the world, and yet he'll be in an office like this and sleeping on the floor and getting up. And certain people won't understand that, saying the guy's bloody dying for money. The guy's dying for legacy, to create something, to land on Mars before he leaves this world, to say we are, an interplanet species sort of thing. It's about legacy. He's hit the top of his mountain. When you own the bloody cash system and you've got rockets going to a rock, which is got more gold than the earth has, and you can probably buy the whole world, what is it then? Because mental health hits everybody and goes, well, now I'm worthless and my purpose is done. What is my purpose? If you have no purpose, then you don't even want to wake up in the morning because you're like, what for? I've done everything I want to. The guy sleeping there, getting up to going, I want to push the boundaries, create legacy and leave something before I leave this world. The world's not here to be understood. Whatever you want, go and do it. If you can see somebody else in this world doing it, it means it's possible. Don't say he had a silver spoon in his mouth. He had the right people. You can have that too. Just go out and go and get it. And try and keep pushing past failure. And failure isn't the opposite to success. It's part of success. Every man who's been successful, he's failed a million times, but you don't see that. You just see the success, the tip of the iceberg. That's all you see. You didn't see what made that guy.
It's like Thomas Edison with the light bulb. He failed 9,999 times until he finally got it to work.
There you go.
So he did it.
There you go.
I want to get into something else. One of the last podcasts I watched of yours,
Yes.
you were having a conversation and you mentioned what a blessing it is for this country to provide benefits. Do you think there are any negatives around it as well from providing this so-called help?
I've never really tried to rely on any sort of benefits myself, first of all. So I wouldn't sort of know like what certain people are going through. Certain people have health conditions. They're not able to work. Certain people need like transport for them done. And that's why we pay taxes, is to help people who are not in a position that can help themselves. Certain people have autism, ADHD, they can't work around certain people. So I understand there is a need for that. But what I can't understand, in my opinion, is certain people who have 2 hands, 2 legs, and all they ever do is be negative and moan how the system isn't paying them enough. It's a bit like, if you were born in another country, in a third world country, if you had that attitude, you'll be finished very quickly. Imagine, do you see how many immigrants come from out of the UK and come into the UK and how they smash up business? I've seen the Polish community 20 years ago came, done all the building work, and they gone back. They bought their own houses back in Poland, and yes, they paid their tax here. They paid their taxes, they've done the hard work, sent the money back, built a nice life, and they're having a nice life over there. That's what you're able to create. People see this country as an opportunity.
Why? Is it because of the laziness people have due to the reliance on benefits, you reckon?
No, this is a very well built up country. The UK is the capital of the world. Yeah, I've had clients from all over the world. Yeah, I've had Italian, well-dressed men come into the bank, and I'm like, can I ask you a question? What's the best country you've been in the world? And said, if I tell you, Mr. Land, it's UK. Because when I want to do something in Italy, they tell me siesta and 3 days for the appointment. And I'm like, okay. But if I want it done in the UK, that afternoon I can get it done. It's got everything here, bro. Everything here. There's so much opportunity. There's so much abundance. There's work everywhere. You can work from home. You can, there's factories. There's so many retail jobs. There's so much abundance. And if you're not able to work, the government does help you. No one goes hungry here. It's your choice if you've decided down that route. But yes, in that system, just like everything in life, people do abuse the system. And that's the reality you will face. If you live off benefits and you know you shouldn't be, and you just accept that life, then your whole life is negative because you're just waiting for that money. Then you just got enough to buy your food or shopping, or you might not have it, or put electricity. You're not giving your kids a good life, and you're being an example for them to have the same life. And you see generation of benefit Britain, as they call it.
True.
So that's up to you. And if that's all you want from life, then that's okay. But in my reality, I've never wanted that life. I found that embarrassing. My parents have always said, don't you ever live off any benefits. You've got enough power, like, to do whatever you want to do and achieve what you need to do. And that's self-pride.
It's true. We've had a situation similar to that, a handyman that used to work for us. He worked for us for about a year in our estate agency. A year later, he came and he said, can you increase my salary to X amount? So I said, well, that's a big jump, but I'll meet you halfway and we'll do this. So he goes to me saying, no, I'll work for you for X amount of hours. If you don't meet what I'm asking you, I'm just going to quit, because with all the allowances and benefits that I'm getting, if I work for you, I don't get that. So I'd rather get that and sit at home.
Wow.
So I said, mate, suit yourself. Then I bumped onto him a year later. After he quit working, a year later, I bumped into him. And I asked him, how's it going? Did you get a job? What were you doing? He said, no job yet. So think about it, a year of not working, just chilling. So you're right, people do abuse the system. But there are some people who do actually need it, like you mentioned, people with autism, etc. So before we wrap, final question. You seem to be raised with a lot of principles around you, and you've got a healthy, mannered foundation.
Yes.
Alongside that, you're a successful businessman and a property entrepreneur, property investor. Could you share with our audience 3 tips? Either it's business philosophies or maybe it includes your foundations that you've grown up with. 3 tips that you use on a day-to-day basis that help you with your decision-making and how you live your life.
Yeah. So number 1, always have a diary. Always know what you're doing with your week. Plan your week. Plan your day. Yeah. So for me, I just need one meaningful meeting a day. That's all I concentrate on. If I'm meeting a builder on building site, kitchen designer on another day, a tenant on another day, any projects, any new viewings that I need to go on for any new accumulation, speaking to my broker on any previous deals that we've done or what's coming up, refinancing. Maybe there might be a day in, on my laptop doing something for social media, making my own content. There could be so many different things, but write your list of things that you need done or all the projects and side hustles you're doing, and look at your diary system and start putting it in. Because when you see it, then you're going to do it. If it's invisible, then you're not going to do it. So make the invisible visible, as they say, So a diary is number 1. And you'll never be late for a meeting. So you put it on your phone, you put a reminder 1 hour before. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to meet a boss for a podcast today, and I know I was only going to be an hour within distance. Definitely making that. Not, yeah, hello, bro, where are you? Waiting for the podcast. Shit, I'm so sorry. And you're playing catch up. Never be in that position. Then the worst thing you can do is be late, yeah? Or even worse than that is not turn up. Who's going to take you seriously then? No one. Second of all, you've got 2 decisions to make when you wake up. Either wake up with a sad face, negativity, or wake up with a smile and say, I'm going to go and get this today. And I know every single day is a blessing when I wake up, because someone in the world hasn't woken up, or someone in the world is drinking dirty water, or someone in the world is living with a disease and doesn't know how long they've got left. When you've got your health, you've got, the right people around you, wake up with a smile and your whole world will be different. Wake up to some positive affirmations, some it's not about how hard you get hit, it's about how hard, you hit and not get hit. What's his name? Sylvester Stallone. So listen to things like that and say, yeah, I'm not going to I'm going to let the world hit me today and I'm going to get back up. I'm okay. I'm not going to listen to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Listen to the right things. Don't listen to negativity and a podcast about, men and women don't like each other and this and that, and yeah, that's drama. Yeah, this is hitting my, emotions, and that was a lot of drama. Or did you see what happened in EastEnders and Bianca, cheated on him again? And where's that gonna get you? Where's that drama? It's gonna get you nowhere. It's pointless. So it's all about, waking up with positivity, being grateful just for the day to start, and everything will be positive in your day, because you'll greet people and say, good morning. Oh, you're nice. Yeah, morning. There's a story. Yeah, there's two people in the same reality going on the same train, both going to McDonald's. One of them's really negative and angry, yeah, and as he gets onto the train, someone knocks into him and drops coffee, and his day gets worse. And he's like, you idiot, what are you doing? And goes to McDonald's and does his work and say, look, some idiot did this to me this morning, and I didn't want to come here in the first place, and why am I working here? And in another reality, someone going, yeah, I've got to go work today, I'm going to learn something at work today, and he knocks into this guy, and the guy drops coffee on him, and he goes, it's all right, bro. It's all right. This guy owes me something now because he just dropped coffee on me. I've just seen a real estate book under his arm, and he goes, oh, I'm really sorry, bro. I didn't mean to do that. That's okay, but I can pay for your dry cleaning. He goes, no, do you know what? I'd like a meeting with you. Can you teach me more about that? Sure, that's the least I can do. Yeah, take my number and I'll have a coffee with you. Could be a start of an opportunity. And then you go to McDonald's and going, yeah, I'm working here. I've learned money. I've learned how to work. I'm gonna earn money here. And guess what? I booked an appointment today to, I'm gonna be sitting down with somebody and learn a little bit of real estate. And I didn't know nothing about that. And I'm so interested. Same situation, just looked at it differently. So that's how important positivity is. This brain is a central nervous system that can control the whole universe. When you wake up, you make your reality. Everything could be an illusion, but you make that thing a reality. I could have said, Abbas wants me in a podcast today. Maybe he wants me, maybe not. I'm not going to turn up. Yeah, I'll be there. I put it in my diary and I got here, called you, I'm here. We made it reality, yeah? It could have easily been not a reality. We made them decisions. And you hold that regard up with everything in your life. You treat every single thing like that with that sort of respect. So there's 2 tips. And what's the last tip, I would say? So what was the question again? The
business philosophies or foundations that you live with on a day-to-day life.
On a date. And I always stay coachable. No matter, I'm 37, maybe if I'm a father, maybe if I'm a son, maybe I'm a businessman, entrepreneur, social media influencer, public speaker, I am still coachable. There might be something you told me today, Abbas, that I think, Abbas said that, I didn't know that before, I didn't realize that before. Or is that, you taught me stuff about cameras today, about taxation, that, these have a certain limit because the tax is like, hey, someone found a loophole there to not pay higher tax. I learned something, right? Stay coachable. That's a conversation for another day. I might add something when people talk about cameras. Hey, do you know what they do about camera? I might look smart with my next cameraman and go, do you know that's what they're doing? Then my cameraman might goes, Sean knows even what we do, a little bit about us. He's more relatable. I like working with this guy. He's a jack of all trades. That's what you got to be, coachable. Don't ever say, I know it all, because then you become in a fixed mind. Always have a growth mindset. I didn't know that. Or I know what you're saying. I've dealt with that before. Is he saying it right? No, but I was open to listen to it. Always stay that way, because that's what I do every single day. And every day I learn something new.
Sean, I think this is by far perhaps the most factual conversation I've had on this show around life. Amazing. So it's really been a pleasure having you. If the audience want to get in touch with you, yes, what's the best means?
So I've got Instagram, and it's Seanland, SEANLAND_1. And then you can see the link tree and all my links are there. But, if it would help any of your audience, I've got a website, www.seanland.co.uk. And on there's some free templates and also a Discord channel. So I'll create a community. And lastly, we have the podcast as well. So maybe in the future, when you're in London, maybe you're going to be on it as well. But it's called Take a Seat. So just put Sean Space Land in YouTube and you'll see Take a Seat. And I've gone kind of a little bit into property, but I've gone more into like boxers and singers and people in different industries, because I think not one glove doesn't fit all. So maybe you want to get in property, but you want it totally passive and you want to learn a different way to earn money. So you might say, hey, I'm good at singing, and that's how she made it as a singer, made money, and then gave it to that guy to make money for earn property. Maybe you want it that way. That's why I do my podcast slightly different. But these are some of the places you can find me, and I'm sure we're going to collab anyway. So my audience can also see your podcast and get some, real good gems from you, because what you're doing here, is something that's very selfless, if that makes sense. You're taking a time. Today is a weekend. You've got lights, camera, you've got family here, and you're making this happen for your listeners. So, I've got to take my hats off to you, and thank you very much for the invite today.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Sean. So your description, all the details you mentioned will be in the YouTube description below. Thanks again very much for joining us today.